Hi, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Let's Talk About Market episode number 64. And if we see the Nifty index, it has dipped today. Now, someone can argue that it can be a weekly expiry thing, but we had clearly mentioned yesterday that somewhere around 26,050 to 26,100 is an important resistance level, and the Nifty index was not able to break that resistance zone, and from there, it has seen a correction. So, at what point do we start worrying of a correction? So, I think that will be the talking point for today. And also, while the Nifty index has been in this corrective mode, and a lot of small mid caps have been slaughtered, left, right, and center. So over there, which are the companies that are worth looking at? We'll sort of talk about that through one of the screens. So yes, basically, that would be our talking point for today. So let me quickly share my screen. I have to wind the session a bit early today due to some, there is some work that we have. So please, quickly let me know once you all are able to hear me properly and see my screen so that, we can get started. Meanwhile, I'll just open the Nifty chart. Please, someone, if they can confirm it in the chat box, it would be great. Are you able to hear me and see my screen? Then please just drop a confirmation quickly. Okay, great. Thanks, Sudeep ji, for the confirmation. Yeah, thanks, Dilip, for the confirmation. So, if we look at the Nifty index, let me, take a hourly chart so that it will be more clear. So, see, basically, the Nifty index has been, trading in this channel. Okay, and over here, as of now, the Nifty index has, taken resistance from the upper end of the falling channel. Okay, now I know the scare will be that will it fall down towards the lower end of the channel. I don't know that. I mean, as of now, the Nifty index has gone back towards the lower hourly Bollinger Band. So what I'm watching very closely now is how does it behave around this averages. Okay, because you can see over here that the RMI had sort of bottomed out and then it was trying to turn around. So if we have 1 or 2 days of uptick, we will end up getting this bullish crossover. So that is what I would want to see. And the reason why, I had mentioned that 26,050 to 26,100 is an important resistance level, because if we see the 61.8% retracement level, that is somewhere around 26,084. So, I took it as a round figure of 26,050 to 26,100. So basically, this resistance zone needs to be taken out on the upside. That's where, we can say a bit more confidently that a corrective phase is complete and the up move is going to start. The ultimate reversal level, as I have been mentioning for quite some time, is basically this, right? This is our ultimate reversal level. But yes, I mean, if 25,060 gets broken on the upside, sorry, 26,100 gets broken on the upside, then we can say that eventually even this resistance is going to break out. I mean, which is around this all-time high of 26,300. So that is what the thought process is. Now, for some reason, if the Nifty index decisively closes below the 40-hour exponential average, okay, sorry, 40-day exponential average, then there is a risk of it falling towards the lower end of the channel. Just to clarify, the 40-day exponential average is at 25,834, okay, which is just 20 points away approx from the current levels. So if at all, tomorrow we get a negative close, which is more than 20-30 points, then we'll end up breaking the 40-day exponential average, which will not be good. And also yesterday I had spoken about the sentiment indicators, the daily sentiment, which had touched 84 sort of levels, and from there it has pulled off, right? So right now it is in a neutral zone, but as I mentioned, I mean, now the point of reaction would either be if it comes over here, or if the Nifty index breaks out from this channel, and of course, the 61.8% retracement level. So if those, I mean, around the lower end, of the swing, that too we will need to see, how swing unfolds at that point of time. uh, so based on that we'll see, or else the Nifty index, we will look like a breakout once it breaks above this level, which is also around the 61.8% retracement level, right? So these are the two things that we need to watch out for very closely. And yesterday also I had mentioned that, just like the way Nifty index has corrected from the 61.8% retracement mark, even mid cap 100 had done the same thing. Okay, and over here also you can see that the daily averages have not been crossed. Okay, so this puts us at some risk in the short term, and that's why, I was emphasizing yesterday that we need to break past this averages and 61.8% decisively for us to, get a bit of a confidence that, the up move can now unfold. So this is what, I'll be watching out for very closely in the near term. And as I mentioned, I mean, over here you can see that the 40 days broken, but yeah, I mean, somewhere, I mean, over here, you might want to give it a day or two to see what happens, because over here this gap zone has just got tested and the Nifty index has closed around that level. Okay, so I will give a lot more importance to the Nifty index, what it does over here, and then try to overlay what is happening on the other indices. Okay, so that is what, frankly, I am thinking about it right now. And as we know, right, that small and mid caps have been beaten out of shape. We all know that, right? So yesterday, to, I mean, I had mentioned that, uh, using scanners, how you can find the strong stocks, which will be useful from short term to medium term perspective as well. And in fact, even if you go to the lower time frames, it can be helpful for your swing trading as well. But I think today I want to focus more on, finding good stocks from a medium term to long term perspective, because I believe that, a lot of, I mean, many of the stocks have been beaten left, right, and center. So, how is it that you need to think about stocks? Because if in today's time, if you go and ask anyone, if some stock has corrected a lot, and if you ask them for their view, they will say that it is bearish, wait for the reversal. I mean, that is what the answer would be, and no one wants to, put their hands in the stocks, which have corrected a lot. But ultimately, if we see, that is where, sometimes you end up making very good money. So one of the ways that I have found very useful is, tracking the insider trading, which is where, the companies have to reveal if they have bought from the open market or not. Okay, and that's where, on strike. So let me open this tab. If you go to, the first button on the left hand side, go to bulletin board and then deals and insider trading. Okay, once you go over here, there is something called an insider trading. And in insider trading, if you go, here is where, the stock name is there. Then, which category of promoters, I mean, whether it is promoter, key KMP means key market person, and so on. I mean, there are different categories. So you can choose them. Usually, I try to choose the ones which are related to promoter. Okay, so promoter group, promoter immediate relative. You might want to keep relative, or you can exclude it. Not a problem. Promoter director and member of promoter group. Okay, so these are the typical ones I would like to see. Okay, because they are the ones, who are well informed. And, over here what I could see was that, there are a lot of stocks. So now see, I mean, one stock that caught my eye was this Gandhar oil and oil refinery. I think it had seen a very good listing, uh, and many people were bullish on this stock. And if you see, uh, y- I mean, today in 15th of December, there was a very significant purchase at 124.89. Other than that, one day we had seen 20,000. One day it was, 1,000 shares, and yesterday it was 1 lakh. And if you see the chart basically of Gandhar oil, you can see, in the past 2 to 3 days is where, the up move has started to come by. But now, you might see that, oh, it has gone up a lot in the near term. But if you just zoom out and you see, from 350 levels, it has been beaten down to 120 levels. Okay. So, such are the types of stocks which you might want to analyze and try to find if there is any opportunity that is present or no. Okay. So, for that, what you can do is that you can go on strike. Now, see, I'll tell you, see, I have frankly limited knowledge of fundamentals. Okay, so in that sense, I just try and see whether there are any red flags in the balance sheet or no. Okay, and that is all that I try to see. I don't go much beyond that. But overview, you can just take it. Now if I see that it's a 13p, which is okay. I mean, it may not be too cheap. That is because it is in the commodity sector. But now, if you just try and go to the balance sheet, and if you see over there, what is the cash position and so on. Like, first thing that I would want to see is that, how is the liability part. So long term, I mean, it is just 28 crores of debt. Short term, there is a meaningful debt, but usually in the short term, you may not consider that much. That is because, sometimes it is a working capital, which is a requirement. You can also go to the financial ratios and see the leverage ratio, right? I mean, if you see over here, it is 0.02. So not much to worry, I would suppose, I would guess. Then, what I would want to see is that how is the cash flow of, the company. So now see, here is a bit of a problem. It's 70 crore minus from the operations. Okay, I'm not even going to the free cash flow part and so on. But over here, I mean, see, this is where, you have to start investigating as well, as to what is happening, because you can see over here 118, 166 crore, 104 crore. So it was doing good cash conversion over here, but somewhere something has happened over here. So what has happened is something that you need to find. Okay, and then of course, you would want to see how the results and all are going on. Okay, so you can see that in the previous result, I mean, in the quarterly result, there was a almost 100% kind of jump. Okay, so why was it? I mean, if you see the EBITDA, it had gone up, I think, around 50% or so. If we do a year-on-year comparison, so which line item was it due to which taxes? Mm, okay, so I think there was no exception as such. Uh, So it was just the minority. But yeah, I think more or less it looks, I mean, it looks like it was a good performance on the operational side, right? So, I mean, that is why, the results were pretty good. So this was the first thing that caught my eye. So usually I see the quarterly result first, and then I try to go to the balance sheet, cash flow, and so on. Okay. So that's where, I mean, I am frankly, now trying to see the stocks which, where these all things are happening. Okay, I mean, where the promoters are very active. And one thing, and one stock that also caught my eye was MSP Steel and Power. Now, see, I mean, again, I'll take this as a case study. I mean, this is not by any means a recommendation, but I'm just trying to tell you how to filter out the stocks at the time when there is a lot of panic in the market, right? I mean, small and the mid caps, small and the micro caps have become untouchable, because people fear that you don't know where the next accident will be, right? So, but I mean, this was another stock which I found interesting. I'll tell you why. And what is happening over here, frankly, I don't know. I just need to see and I need to dig deeper. So over here you can see that there is no PE because the EPS is negative. So that itself is not a good sign. But whenever you have a shrinking balance sheet, you need to see what is happening over there. Okay, an expanding balance sheet is always good, but you can see that the balance sheet is shrinking, but the revenue pie and all this is expanding. So what exactly is happening? I mean, this is where you might end up getting a lot of insights as well. So this, we had designed it that way only, that say for example, if you have, so this is the revenue pie, or you can say the PNL. If it is expanding that way and the balance sheet is shrinking, then there is a possibility that they might be deleveraging, and now that is what is and maybe there is a chance that whatever capacity that they might be putting, and for that whatever debt they might have taken, they would be I mean, they would be sort of repaying back. And then whenever your interest cost or your finance cost comes down, your PAT and all starts to expand, right? So this can be one of the patterns that you might want to look at, as to what is happening. So I saw this pattern over here. And then of course, I mean, I saw the quarterly result. So on the quarterly result, what is happening is that EBIT level, it is making profit. Okay, so then we have to find where is it that the problem is happening. So over here you can see that there is an exceptional loss of 100 crore, but apart from that also it was very minimal that you can see. I mean, it was 0.38. But you can see over here at least that. And now I don't know if there is some seasonality involved over here, but you can see that the prior quarter, I mean, it was EBT was negative. Okay, and then there was this exceptional thing, and due to which the results have got affected. But what is happening in this, and what truly caught my eye was this. I mean, if you see the balance sheet, so you can see over here, the first thing, what has happened is that there has been an increase in share capital, which means that some QIP, some fundraising, something has happened, and that entire fundraising has resulted into repaying of the debt. Because you can see that the debt, the long term debt, which was around 500, I mean 477 crore, that has gone to 11 crore. Okay, so that is one. And over here also you can see that the short term borrowing has come down a bit, which is a good sign. So now if you end up seeing the leverage ratios, I mean, those will all come down, right? I mean, it was 1.5 at this point, it was 7 as well. I don't know, I mean, what had happened at that point. But all you can see now is that there is a sharp reduction in debt. Okay, and you can see that the EBITDA and all is okay. I mean, it is constant. The only thing that I need to see is that what is the working day capital. Working day capital has also reduced meaningfully. So probably this means that the efficiency seems to be increasing. So one thing is that the debt reduction, and the second thing that you see is that there is a steady cash flow as well, right? Cash flow from operations has been increasing. So this again is a good sign. Now see, in Gandhar oil we saw that the cash flow from the operation was dipping, but over here it is increasing. Okay, so this is a good sign, actually. But as I told you, I mean, at what amount was this raised, who had come, I mean, those are all things I couldn't get time to investigate. I'll probably need to dig a little more deeper. But when I saw into the shareholding also, there has been some material dip in promoter holding over here. So that's why I'm guessing that there is some external party that has come over here, and who might have got who might have done the fund, I mean who might have given funds. And also over here, so this is the reason why we had kept this green bar in two colors. So one is that the promoter holding that you see is 35%, and you can see that within that the pledge percent is 81%. Okay, you can see that 81% pledge is there. Earlier it was almost 100% that was pledged, but now that the pledge had decreased a bit, so this naturally warrants some bit of investigation. Now, as I told you, what is it happening, I mean, even I have to find out. But this is one of insider trading is one of the way to find such stocks. Sometimes there are good turnaround stocks that turnaround happens, and promoters are the ones they would know, right? So they are the ones who are buying into the market. And of course you also need to track on the ones who are selling as well, as to why they are selling. But this is one way. And I can see that in the recent times there have been some good stocks where not good, I would say, but known stocks where these things seems to be happening. I mean, one was the Star Cement. So in the last 2 to 3 days, you can see that in the disclosures that the promoter seems to be buying over here. Okay. uh, so Star Cement was the one. Then you can see Surya Roshni as well. I mean, that used to work very well prior to, during the after COVID actually. Okay. And over here also you can see that there has been a lot of buying that is done by the promoters. So I'm not sure what is happening over here, but definitely, this is worth a look. Uh, Let me just see the shareholding of Surya Roshni. So actually, it has not increased much. Maybe I think they are just starting to buy this quarter majorly. Yeah. Otherwise, you can see that there was some allotment that was given. I think it might be some preferential issue or something like that. Oh no, that is a different company altogether. So I think if you see Surya Roshni, they seems to be buying from November only. So I think this would, the promoter increasing its, shareholding might just get captured, this time. But as I told you, it was Surya Roshni. Then other one I saw was Kaveri Seeds. Okay. Wait. Sorry. I think maybe it is because of the promoter group. Kaveri Seeds had seen them. Acha, it comes in connected person, but you can see over here, Kaveri Seeds, there has been continuously, they have been buying from the open market. So that way you can see that. And again, I have told already about DB Corp. They have been buying since many, many months now. Okay. Every time you will see them into the buying list. They have been buying since a lot of time, since a very long time. So I'm not sure what does the promoter know that they have been buying aggressively. But the point is that for all these stocks, basically what you just need to do is that make a watch list of this stock, and whenever the momentum picks up over there or you end up seeing turnaround, that is where you might just want to see if there is any position that can be made, either from short term, medium term, or long term. And that's how probably you will end up finding some stocks where at least you would know that the promoters know what is happening, right? So you might have some degree of confidence. And I would just recommend that while you're trying to do with this technique, don't go down deep. Just try to find good companies. Okay, for that, as I told you, their debt should be manageable. Promoter holding, just look at the trend of it. How has the promoter holding been. And the other thing is just watch the cash flow and some key financial ratios like leverage ratio and all. You can see, if they are not out of whack, then keep them in your watch list. And whenever there is something that is happening over here, I mean some breakouts, some crossovers on weekly, monthly, daily, wherever, then you might just want to see how the charts are shaping up. I mean, if there is any opportunity, it is like an added confirmation for you, right? So this, I think, is one good way to find out stocks. And I specifically emphasized on this technique a lot more today, because promoter buying is happening now even in decent and known stocks. Okay, that was the reason I started talking about it today. So yeah, because see, now they have only 15 days. Once the Jan month starts and the quarterly result starts, again there will be a silent period for 45 days, and where they won't be allowed to buy or sell or do anything, right? So for the next 15 days, just watch out for what these promoters are doing. Sometimes they might be knowing that the results are going to be good, so they try to accumulate as much as possible. They try to do that, but of course, I mean, they don't do it with the view that, oh, in one quarter only, I'll get the gains and I'll sell it. They don't do it that way. They usually buy it from medium to long term perspective, and that's where it will be helpful for you to understand what they are doing, right? So yes, I mean, that is what I wanted to share with you all today, and I hope you all find it helpful, because I mean, this was one of the technique which one of my friend had taught me in 2016 or so, and I have found it very, very helpful since then. I mean, there have been many stocks that I was able to catch it because of that. I mean, in that, of course, I have made those mistake of just trading it for a short term and then losing out on the move. I mean, that's where now I have been more careful in trying to find good quality stocks. And if at all you end up getting at a reasonable level as well, be it fundamentally or even on charts, if you end up getting on weekly, monthly supports, then sometimes I have seen that they are worth getting into, as they end up making good money for us at some point, right? So so yeah, I mean, with that, if you'll now have any questions, let me know. I'll try and resolve your queries. So Ramesh says that for stock options, what we see in this app. So for stock options, basically there is an entire option module that we have, open interest, multi-strike, cumulative. The one, that screen that is unique to strike, and which I watch it very closely, is Strike OI Insights. This screen helps us to understand. I mean, this screen gives a bird's eye view. So over here, it mentions where is it that the highest open interest is there already, okay, for the existing contracts. And then where is it that the highest OI addition is happening today, and where is it that there is highest liquidation happening today. All you get in one screen. And what we have tried to do is that, based on where the price of the futures is, we have tried to do an interpretation. Now, say for example, if you see, if I do it below support, this means these are the stocks which are trading below their put writing area. I mean, where the put writing has been very strong, so they are trading below that, and that is why they feature into this below support category. Similarly, so what you can do is that, depending on whether your view is bullish or bearish for the market, you can choose your filters that way. Now, say for example, if I expect that the market will go down, I'll try to find the list of stocks which are near resistance or above resistance. Okay, and what I'll try to do is that i will I will do this. Okay, so yeah, you can see that I will do uh, OI change and sorting based on that. Now see, you don't have to take the Nifty figure so seriously, because it was weekly expiry, and that is why you're seeing it that way. Maybe tomorrow, if you see, you will get a lot more normalized figure, but that is there. Then if you see Axis Bank, right? Oh, sorry, I have done near support. My bad. I have to do above resistance and near resistance, and after that, I have to do this. So you can see that Marico is now near resistance, Godrej CP is near resistance, BPCL is near resistance, and so on. Okay, so these stocks, maybe I can do keep them in the watch list and then try to think if there is any trade that I can see over here, and then I can find it. So this is what you can get it in Strikeover Insights. Basically, it's a bird's eye view. You quickly get to know. See, the whole idea is that if I see the open interest, right, I will have to see where is it that the highest open interest is, where is it that there is a higher addition or liquidation happening. So all this, if I have to do for 200 stocks, the market might get over. I mean, by the time I analyze that. So that is why we have made this screen of Strikeover Insights, and that sort of makes it very very useful for you to look at it in one glance. And we have given further filtration so that you can try to find those stocks very quickly where the highest open interest is, and which are the ones that are coming towards their call area or put area. So yeah, I think that's how that's what we have for the stock options. And of course, you can explore many more screens. We have almost around 8 to 9 screens over here. You can go and you can explore them. I'm sure you'll find something very helpful over there. Any more questions? I'll wait for a minute. As I told in the, at the start, I have to go a bit early today. There is some office work that we have. So if there is any quick question, let me know. Else, we'll wind up the session for today, and we can meet tomorrow then at 5 p.m. I'll wait till 5:33. It is 5:32 right now. I'll wait for a minute if there is any question. Okay, Deepak says, please share your view on Vedanta's demerger impact. Uh, it's been on there looking for overbought, oversold, Nifty double top. No, so Deepak, as I told you, firstly for Nifty, I told you that the levels that I'm watching out very closely is the 40-day exponential average. How it behaves over there. It is just 20 points away from there. We'll discuss that in more detail tomorrow, because I hope we might end up getting some clarity. And similarly, on the upside, 26,100 is an important resistance level. Okay, so this range needs to be broken on either side. That's where probably I feel that we might end up getting some trending move. Else, we are gonna get this sideways sort of market. For Vedanta, I am not sure about demerger. Whatever I've read, heard, it is broadly positive, and so on. But I don't know, frankly, what is gonna happen over there, because see, I don't know. I just feel that companies try to do what market wants, because earlier everything was different, right? It was Essa Sterlite, and then it was Kane India. These were all different entities. They got merged into Vedanta, and now again they are demerging it. So I'm not sure what is it up to, and frankly, I have not studied it in depth. And as I told you, I'm not great expert of fundamentals. I just look at the broader numbers. That's it. Uh, so don't have much view on that. But yeah, regarding Nifty index, I don't think it is a double top. If you're calling it a double top, then the breakdown happens at 21,000 levels. So I don't know. I'm not considering it that way. Uh, and you mentioned that rising wedge. Where is it? Let me just check. Let's see index. So where are you seeing a rising wedge? Is this a rising wedge that you're talking about? I mean, frankly, when we do Elliott wave, we don't consider this as an rising wedge. Maybe if I have to do a proper rising wedge, then maybe the rising wedge could still be forming, in which it could be doing something like this, where this happens. But considering this as a rising wedge, in case if you're telling me, I don't know. I wouldn't consider this as a rising wedge, frankly. So yeah, Gopi says what time delay on future. So it is standard. So it is 3 minute delay. That is what we get from the exchange. So the screen gets updated every 3 minutes. It actually gets updated every minute. So the future price that we are getting gets updated every minute, and open interest get updated every 3 minutes, because that's when NSE sends us the data. So yeah, I think with that, we're running out of the time. So sorry. Maybe next time we can spend some more time. If at all there are more questions. As of now, I've addressed everything. But let's catch up tomorrow at 5 p.m. and let's hope if we are able to get some indication of a breakout or a breakdown, so that it can help us to think what can happen next. Okay. So once again, thanks a lot, and let's catch up tomorrow.